The exhibit is called The Art of Resilience, and it's all about my journey from therapy, which I started at age 42. And the kind of therapy is psychosynthesis, which is not mainstream. It's not about targeting you or naming some kind of pathological problem that you have. It's all about more about spiritual elements as well as psychological elements, and it's very beautiful. It takes you into guides you into the dark places, as seen in some of these paintings here, but you're never left there. You're always seeing the potential, as is seen in the painting with the lawn that's on the other side of the child in the dilapidated house. So yeah, so you go back into inner child experiences with good guidance and a safe place, and you talk and you learn to do inner child writing, and yeah, it continues on. I started at age 42 and I'm 60, so it's a lot of healing. I think there's a lot of people doing a lot of work by themselves. So this painting, I put the word acceptance there, but it's wrong. The title of this painting is Recognition, and this is the first painting I did in the series because it represents for me the first therapy session, which was amazing, because the therapist asked me, where do you, just with that box of crayons, where do you find yourself in the world now? And I drew a lot of dark stuff. So a lot of the imagery that came through for me was just this wounded person just kneeling in a crouched position. And the reason I put this textural stuff on here, this is bubble wrap, and this is another protective material that I found between panes of glass at the art studio, the art department in St. X. And I put that on there because the child who was wounded, I felt, wasn't protected. And so I thought, well, I'll put this on here as a statement, and a lot of the dark colors. And I took the text from my journal. A lot of people think that it's just about the house I grew up in, that where my wounds happened, but not so. There's a statement here about a strangers. So yeah, if you want to read it, you can come to the library. Yeah, so that's recognition. The part that I appreciated the most about going to therapy for the very first time at the age of 42, I felt very lucky to be with a psychosynthesis therapist, because where the guide brings you into this is all from one session, and this is called the inner child. And I had an experience of seeing an inner child. This was the child here, and I saw the house, and I got to talk about the house where I grew up and the community where I grew up. But before the end of the session, in an hour and 10 minutes, you're definitely not left in this dark place. Your potential, you already have a vision of where you can go, where life can be, is green and beautiful sky, and yes, the white picket fence. And this one is called Butterfly Guard, and one of the parts that I like about the therapy, the psychosynthesis therapy, is you can call in your psyche, your soul, however you want to refer to this, calls in a guide. And in my imagery, naturally what came to me was butterflies, and they came in and they guarded all of these different doors to all the different memories where I was wounded as a child and a teenager and as an adult woman. So the butterflies are very significant, and I put this one male image here to represent all of those people in the past. And another image that I had was a child, the inner child, who resides within all of us. This child was, because I love nature, I love being outdoors, I love flowers, I have an amazing garden, I'm proud to say, was a child underneath poppies. The poppies were actually a tent, but I couldn't incorporate that into a painting. And what I did do was I took tissue paper that people line gifts with, and I made the poppies out of the tissue paper. I kind of worked it around and just added that. And the text is here from my journal, where the child felt like she was not she said she was a dirty blossom. And this is from an onion bag, because onions are kind of stinky. So the text that and the stuff I've collaged on here, I don't have the proper art language, they're all intentional. They're all intentional. So that poppy imagery was very powerful for me, healed a lot of me. So a lot of people think the houses, the family home, People who I talk to about my journey, they think it's just all about the family home, but it's not. The school system for me started in Newfoundland. I'm not dissing Newfoundland, but that's where I started. And it was a very bad experience, very negative. And throughout my life, school was very negative. And I believed I was stupid for a long time, and it was just through this therapy that I came to believe that I was a beautiful soul with all kinds of potential and indeed smart. So, and yes, I did pee in the desk in Newfoundland, and I put the red flags here because a lot of people had blinders on and didn't notice the red flags over the years. And so I just kind of put that there, and it's kind of a whirlpool of negative energy. So this one is called Resilient Seeker, and that's how I feel about myself. I feel like I'm a resilient seeker, and I feel we all are, as I've said before. But I saw this image of this woman coming up out of the earth, all the organic, the water, the air, the sun, and she's coming through so much. But I had to put the young person here with the little shackles on her ankles, because I think sometimes trauma can keep us there, especially when we don't have a safe place to speak about it. And the years go on, and that's why I bring her along the length of the canvas, the same as with the student. So it spans many, many, many years of silence and pain and suffering, PTSD, all of that. So she's here, but there's starting to be a little color in her, and the stairs, even though the stairs are there and the roots are there, sometimes we're in so much pain, we're so wounded, and we don't notice it until a long time, until the right person comes along and maybe just kind of triggers us into some kind of forward movement. So she's moving forward, and she sees the sun, and that's a lot of psychosynthesis therapy is based on the sun and the mountains, and just a lot of potential. It's a beautiful thing. And this painting is not finished. I have to work in the water in the foreground. So this painting is called Acceptance. This is the one that was supposed to be Acceptance. I wrote Safety wrong. This is another part of the imagery that I did where I was working on inner child trauma, and the bed is in the ocean, and in the imagery I felt like I was drowning and it was really scary. The guide helped me move forward, and an eagle came and literally just carried the child out of the traumatic experience. And so the eagle, I worked very hard on my eagle, and there's a song that goes with this, and there's a song that goes with several of the other paintings as well, but I can't put that in here in the library because there's just no way to do it. I need a gallery. So this is another really positive image for me.